My philosophy when it comes to getting better, not only with creating videos on YouTube, but also just writing code and becoming a better engineer, is quantity over quality. And what I mean by that is I just want to put a lot of reps in. And yeah, they may not be good. They may not be worth showing off to people, but the more I do it, it's unavoidable that you'll get better and better over time. Right. And also there's another element too, which is like on YouTube, you often don't know what's going to resonate with people or what might be timely. And so the way I think about it is like, let me just put a lot of shots on goal. Let me get better at the craft. And then maybe a couple of them might hit. And, that's how your channel will grow. I think your philosophy, correct me if I'm wrong, is different. When I look at your videos, they're so detail oriented, very high quality. It's clear that you spend many more hours editing compared to me. So I'm really interested in how you think about that. Was that a deliberate decision? And how do you think about the craft of content creation? And maybe if it's related to like your engineering work at all.
I think that at least this content creation bit, but actually a lot of other things in your life, I think it's really seasonal, right? So if you think about like a year for a typical software developer, and I work at Amazon, like Q4 that's prime time, right? Like there tends to be like a really large code freeze around that time. I work in Prime Video Sports. And so, I didn't know this, but like all of the big sporting events are happening in the winter.
Yeah.
So the weeks and months leading into Q4, those are inevitably like the most stressful like periods of the year. Around this time of year is, I think, maybe, Q1, going into Q2. Those tend to be like a bit of downtime. We have some other activities that we end up doing during Q1 and Q2, but that tends to be, hey, what's our strategy, right? What should our yearly goals be? Whatever. It tends to be less crunch time. And so I think that, over the course of years, it sort of oscillates. I guess it'd be like a sine curve as well, right? Between like crunch time and then, maybe sort of like taking a step back and then reevaluating, like, are we doing the right thing? When it comes to content creation, I oscillate back and forth. The last couple of videos, I think, you might have pointed out, like, it took a lot more time. I was very much more concerned with quality. But if you go back 6 months, right, I was doing like a video a week there for a couple of months. Right. And I think that it's important to sort of like not have like a single, you shouldn't sort of just stick to one particular like tactic. Right. I don't think it's a quality versus quantity thing. Right now, I am focused on sort of stepping back and seeing like where I should be taking that my channel. And what that's done is like I've gone out on these different vectors. I'm really focused on quality right now. Right. So all of the things that are inside of my pipeline right now are they take longer to produce. I'm trying to do something a little bit more than just like strict talking head stuff. I'm really enjoying and embracing like the creative aspects of content creation, and doing things that are I think are kind of fun. Right.
Yeah.
That stuff is it's going to get released at some point, and then I'm going to get a bunch of data back about like what resonates with my viewership, what doesn't, like what worked, what didn't work. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to streamline things a little bit more. And then I think you'll see like a bunch of videos come out. And at some point I'm going to be unhappy with their quality. Right. And then I'm going to go back. Right. And then sort of like step back, reassess and see if I can't like add more quality there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very interesting. So you don't have this level of rigidity, not only with content creation, but also with engineering. I like how you said, hey, there's this kind of inherent seasonality to it, where it might make sense to kind of lean in more, and other times we lean out more. And I think especially with content creation, it's very much a power law, right? We're going to have like 100 pieces of content, and maybe the top like 4 or 5 are going to dominate what you're known for, and all the views and subscribers come there. So I think that is something that I've also been reflecting on as well, is like, can I just take a step back, really focus on, hey, what do I think the viewer will care about? And then really hone in on that and try and make a banger video rather than I kind of feel like a little bit, if I'm being honest, a little bit drained just from the grind of the weekly treadmill of like a new video every week. And that gets exhausting if you don't see a reward from it.
I don't think people understand how much effort a YouTube video is. Like even just put it in air quotes, just a talking head video where you talk for like 10 minutes is an insane amount of work. It looks like, you're just like training like an iPhone on you or something like that, or you're an Android guy. You're just training like an Android phone on you. But like, it's not that. Like it is an insane amount of work. And when you're trying to do it like sort of weekly, sometimes I fall into this trap too. You look at a content creator and you're like, oh, it looks like Steve's just phoning it in. Like he's found some sort of like formula. It's kind of the same stuff, sort of like repackaged. And I think, there's a bit of truth to that. Like we're humans, we want to build these systems. We want to get really efficient. And I think what you end up seeing is like people are really efficient for, the set of dimensions that they think are like important to their viewership. I do think it's really important to sort of like, spend a bit of time, well, just in general, to sort of like spend a bit of time and reflect on what's going on. My take, I have a take on burnout. People get burnt out when they don't see the end to the work that they're doing. Right. And so, like I'd use the analogy of Q4 at Amazon. If it was like, if it was Q4, Q1, Q2, Q3 were all crunch time,